Hello everyone, I'm Brian and welcome back. So let's go ahead and get started.
um, this this attacking others, it reminds me, in the World Parliament of Religions in Toronto a couple of years back, I attended this session by an evangelical Christian. So generally they are not at all in favor of parliament of religions and harmony between religions. The idea is we are right and everybody else is wrong. So one evangelical teacher, he came to the parliament of religions. So that session was really crowded. Everybody wanted to hear what he had to say. So he said, what we are interested in is, in evangelical Christianity, is that we want to lead a life according to Jesus Christ and tell everybody else that they are wrong. They have to be brought to this also. So I asked a question. It's a wonderful thing if you want to lead a life according to the teachings of Jesus Christ. But why is it equally important to tell others that they are wrong? So he said, no. This is very important to us. That this is the only right thing, and others have to be told that what they are doing is wrong, and they have to come to this path. So the Madhvas are something like that.
And that is my problem with a lot of Abrahamic religions, that they're right and everyone else is wrong. You can't, how do I say? I mean, you can't have your own path, basically. You must follow their path or you're wrong. But again, modern times, they have eased up a lot. I'm sure, at least as far as I can tell, they've eased up quite a bit. They're a little bit more forgiving because otherwise their religion will die if they're constantly forcing people. You said you must believe this, you must follow this path, you must do this, and there's no flexibility at all. But yeah, that's the issue that I've had with Abrahamic religion. It's just we are right, you are wrong. There's no discussion. Why are you right? The Bible said so. What makes the Bible right? God. What makes God right? The Bible. The Bible said God's right. God said the Bible's right. How can you argue with that logic?
That this path is correct. And so, but the Madhvas are not fanatical in that sense. They use reason and debate to engage with other systems of philosophy. Okay. Basically, this is a dualism. This is out and out dualism because they talk about, this is crucial, pancha bheda, five differences. Madhva philosophy talks about five differences. What are these five differences on which they are uncompromising? Remember, Jiva Jagat Ishvara. Ishvara is Vishnu or God, and Jiva is us, and Jagat is the material world. Madhva philosophy says there are five differences here, permanent differences, cannot be negotiated. Ishvara and Jiva, between Vishnu and you, difference, one difference. Ishvara Jiva Bheda. Second, Ishvara Jagat, between Ishvara and this world. Jagat, or they will say Jada, insentient world, between Ishvara and Jada. And then the third one is between Jiva and Jada. Between us, you and the table you're sitting on, I and the computer I'm handling, we are different. The computer is Jada, I am Chetana.
I was actually thinking about that. I was thinking it's like a triality or something like that, where God, me, and inanimate objects are separate. I was thinking about that at work, and I'm glad he said it. But they said there's five. So God and you, God and the object, you and the object. I don't know where that is. That's the trifecta right there. So I don't know where it's going to get the other two. That's my assumption so far, is the separation between God and object. I don't think he said that. Maybe he did. He did three.
Then fourth, between Jiva and Jiva, you are different, I am different. Each Jiva is different. And fifth, last, between Jada and Jada, the table is different and the computer sitting on the table is different from the table.
I can't believe I didn't think about that. I see. I don't. I mean, I guess. Yeah. It's. I guess being a little bit very specific, I suppose. Obviously, if there's a separation between an object, that means there's a separation between me and the person as well. And if there's a separation between me and one object and me and another object, those objects are obviously separated from each other too. That's an assumption that I made already. So okay.
So each entity is different from the other. And these pancha bheda, five differences, they hold on to. This is why it is firmly dualistic. Dualistic means not just two, plural, two and more.
Okay.
Plural entities are there, millions of entities, and they're distinct from each other. Not Advaitans Abheda, or Brahman alone is real, all differences are illusory. No, these are absolutely. One good way of understanding Madhva Vedanta is the way we understand and see the world, perceive the world, and deal with the world, common sense way. Madhva Vedanta says it is real. That's the truth. You find people are different from you, right? Yes. So that's true. They are different from you. God is there. You will feel that God is different from you. Yes. So that's the truth. God is different from you. So it's a very common sense affirming philosophy. So that's all I will say about Madhva Vedanta and stop here. This is the prototype. God is real. Have faith on God. Surrender to God. Worship God. By the grace of God, you will be liberated. In liberation, there is no more suffering, no more samsara. The cycle of birth and death is at an end. Finished. Now, Advaita Vedanta. I'll make a few remarks and then stop and we'll discuss it. Advaita Vedanta is radically different. Very, very different. All the other schools I mentioned, Vishishta Advaita and Shuddha Advaita, you'll see if you read them, they have interesting differences, but they are basically this pattern: God and devotion to God. Finished. Advaita Vedanta says, no. This Jiva Jagatishwar, this triangle you're talking about, this is only apparently different. Underlying all of them, there is oneness, not even unity. There is only one reality. Advaita Vedanta can be stated very simply. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya Jiva Brahmaiva Napara. Brahman alone is real. There's an ultimate reality called Brahman. Jagat Mithya. Jagat, the entire universe, is an appearance. Appearance of what? Appearance of Brahman. You see, when something is called an appearance, what it means is you are missing some fundamental reality. That's why that fundamental reality is appearing in this way. You don't know the rope. That's why the rope is appearing as a snake to you. You thought it was a snake. It's not a snake. It's a rope. Why did I make this mistake or some mistake? A mistake is made when the reality is not known. The reality is that it's a rope. The reality is that it is non-dual. There is no difference. There's only one non-dual reality called Brahman, and the world, this world full of dualities. You dualists who are talking about Pancha Bheda, 5 differences, no doubt you experience them, but that does not mean they are real. They are appearances of one underlying fundamental reality called Brahman. And what are you? What are we? Are we appearances? Are we false? Are we illusions? No. Jiva Brahmaiva Napara. You are Brahman. So Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithya, Jiva Brahmaiva Napara. This Jiva Brahmaiva Napara, this is in the Upanishads. You get these statements which Advaita calls Mahavakyas, profound statements. They are the succinct, essential teachings of the Upanishads. Tat Tvamasi, very well known from Chandogya Upanishad, that thou art. You who think you are an individual Jiva, in reality, you are Brahman, the ultimate reality of this entire universe. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman, from the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Very radical statement. I am not this Jiva, body, mind, and little spark of consciousness. No. I am Brahman. I am not the body, not the mind. I am Brahman. So Shankara.
Sorry, I just thought about this just that very second. But you are the body then. If everything is Brahman, then you are technically the body. Right? I mean, logically speaking, if everything is Brahman and you are Brahman, you are the body, but you're also everything else. I don't know, maybe I'm overcomplicating things, but that's just how my logic works. Everything's Brahman, therefore you are the body. You are the mind, you are the... I hate my hair. I need to get a haircut pretty soon. But I am the pen. So you cannot say that I am not the body if you are the body, because you are Brahman and everything's Brahman. Your body's Brahman, so therefore you are Brahman. I think you cannot speak in. I'm saying this, but I wonder what he would say about this. Like, well, you cannot say that you're not this if you are Brahman and everything's Brahman, therefore you are everything. You are this. I don't know if I remember him ever saying that that you are the body or you are everything. I wonder what it will say about that. I mean, is my logic wrong? Let me know. But because there's one reality, Brahman. Everything is Brahman. Therefore, everything is you. You to say you're not the body would be a lie, or it would contradict that everything is Brahman, right? I mean, I guess that'd be. I think that'd probably be maybe further down the line of explanation, probably because it's difficult enough to grasp to say that you are everything. Maybe, and maybe this is maybe the first step of explaining how Advaita Vedanta works is to understand that what you think is real isn't, and what is real, which is Brahman, which is you, which is everything. But it's just to get that separation between Maya and Brahman. But still, Maya is Brahman. But to get that separation just for the understanding purposes, and maybe later on down the teachings, probably, where you realize that you are in fact the body, and you are in fact the pen, and you are in fact the headset, should I say, and that you're in fact everything. Maybe is that maybe later on where they teach you that you're in fact actually everything, instead of denying that you are denying the fact that you are the body. Let's rewind that. Can I do this? Okay, cool.
I am Brahman. I am not the body, not the mind. I am Brahman. So Shankaracharya sings, Mano buddhi ahankara chittani raham. I am not the mind, not the intellect. I am what am I? I am Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham. Brahman, whatever you call it, Shiva, Vishnu. I am one with that. So Aham Brahmasmi. In the Mandukya Upanishad, you find Ayam Atma Brahma. This very self is Brahman, the ultimate reality. And
This very self
in
is
the
Brahman.
Aitariya Upanishad, you find Prajna reality. In the Mandukya Upanishad, you find Ayam Atma Brahma. This very self is Brahman, the ultimate reality. And in the Aitariya Upanishad, you find Prajnanam Brahma. This very awareness you have is not a spark of consciousness. It is the ultimate reality. It's an ocean of consciousness. How, one may ask, can Advaita Vedanta deny our experience of multiplicity? One reality. How can you say that? Because we experience multiplicity. So at the very, it sounds too radical. So what Advaita Vedanta, this is subtle. What they do is, nobody can deny experience. That I'm seeing you. Who can deny that? We see what we are experiencing, neither Dvaita nor Advaita can deny. No philosopher in the world will deny what we experience. But the difference is this. The Dvaitavadi says what you are seeing is real. This is it. And then you add one more thing called God. You are not seeing it, take it on faith. Advaitavadi says, what you are seeing, I'm not denying that you are seeing it. But what you are seeing, is it real? So Advaita Vedanta makes a cleavage, a separation between reality and experience. That what appears is not real. What is real never appears. That is Bradley, the English idealist philosopher. What appears is not real. What is real never appears. So it's a play on the English, two meanings of the English word appearance. Appearance means what you experience is an appearance, but appearance also means falsity. He appears to be a nice person, means he's not really a nice person. So appears is not real. So Jagat Mithya, when Shankaracharya claims, what you are experiencing, I do not deny you are experiencing body, mind, and world, but it is not real.
I just love that play of words that he used. What appears is not real, and what is real does not appear. I believe I quoted him correctly. I doubt it, even though he just said it. But there was another one he said that, God, I can't remember what he said. I said it a long time ago, but I love the phrases that he put, and it's just so. I can't remember the other one. It's something to do with, I think, experiences or something about who you are. Who you are, you cannot be or something. I don't know. I can't remember, but I love his phrases. I need to go back and find that one and write it down. I need to write these things down. Actually, I love them.
It is like the rope snake. What you are experiencing is not the reality, and the reality is not something that you are experiencing now. What Advaita Vedanta wants to say is quite radical. Advaita Vedanta talks about a reality of Brahman, which is not separated from you by space or time or object. Let me explain that quickly. In Advaita Vedanta, spirituality is not a journey in space. What is spirituality in Dvaita Vedanta? From this world, you will go to Vaikuntha and live in bliss in the company of Vishnu. Advaita Vedanta says, no, no, no. Not from here to there. Here itself and everywhere is that same Brahman. Right now. Not in time. After sadhana, after getting the blessings of grace of Vishnu, you will be liberated. Then only you will experience the company of Vishnu, the proximity of Vishnu. No, no, no. Here and now. Right now, right here. And object, difference in object. I am something, God is something else. This is dualistic religion. I am something and God is something else. They are very clear. You are not God. This is blasphemy for a dualist. But Advaita Vedanta says, no, the ultimate reality is you, Tattvamasi. So in Advaita Vedanta, it is not, spirituality is not a journey from one place to another. It's not a journey from one time to another time, from now to sometime else. It is.
Sorry, I wanted to pause there because that's one thing actually I kind of like the idea behind it in a way. Where I think a lot of Abrahamic religions, or at least even in some I don't know, let's call it Hinduism, the the Vedantas he was talking about a little bit earlier. I can't really remember the names of them, but where you're working towards your afterlife, so you're suffering now to better yourself later on in life. And my philosophy, I don't know if I want to say that, my philosophy has always been, well, you don't know if there is an afterlife. People say there is, but I mean, to say that no one's confirmed it, I mean, there's people who have died and come back, and they say they see a flashing light or they see their relatives. But my theory on that one is just the fact that your brain is still firing electrical signals, and again, the pattern of those signals is your memory. So basically, how you remember stuff is basically, I'm not a brain scientist or whatever you call them, but it's just a theory that I have, and I could be completely wrong. So please do not take my words as facts. Never ever do, no matter what I say. If I say it's a fact, it's probably not. So it's basically your brains is still firing off electrical signals all the time. And whenever, I think maybe when you're dying, you kind of don't have quite complete control over your brain. So therefore, it's just firing whatever it can. And sometimes it triggers memories. And I think that's the reason why when people who come back from the dead say they experience seeing their families or whatever, kind of like a dream where you're unconscious but you're experiencing the dream, the people in your dream, you're experiencing your family or whatever it may be, and you don't have control over your dreams for the most part. Some people can control their dreams, but I think anyways, but to say that they're living their life now, they're suffering now for the afterlife, for the next life, I don't really like that perspective, just because there's no guarantee. No one really knows. Like I said, what a lot of people like to put in the comments, like, you just say you don't know, and that's absolutely true. So you're gonna have to live for the now. Don't think that you're gonna die tomorrow. Kind of live for the now, but just understand that as far as we know, this is real. I mean, and live for what you can. Try to enjoy life, and then if live it to the best of your abilities. Try to be a good person, and then if the afterlife happens, then and if, say for example, the Christian God is real, then hey look, I lived the life the best I could, based on the experiences. I did the best I can. You know, if the Christian God is real, that God would know what would convert me or what would make me believe in God. And if he never done it, then he has given me no reason to believe in himself or her or whatever, the God in a way. So he can't blame me for not believing in the Christian God, because he's given me no proof. He's giving me no signs that, according to their gods, is omniscient. Yes, omniscient. So it's all knowing. He would know exactly what it would take to convert me. And if he never did, then he can't blame me. I lived to the best of my abilities. I didn't just blindly follow any religion. I didn't blindly have faith in any gods or God. So I lived my life the best that I could with what I know, and that's all I can only honestly ask of myself. Said a lot of stuff there that's going on.
Not a journey from myself to something else. Rather, it's a journey. It's a journey from. Then what is the journey in Advaita Vedanta?
Sorry, and that's the reason why I like what he's talking about here. Is the fact that, this is not some kind of journey to an afterlife or a life after this. He's saying you're living here in the now, which is something I definitely can appreciate and definitely encourage people to do. Is don't think that there is an afterlife. There's no guarantee of that. There is a guarantee of right now, right here, right now. And if you die, then figure it out then. But right at the moment, just live for now.
It's a journey from ignorance to knowledge. See, in Advaita Vedanta, the problem is not that you do not have bhakti, you do not have faith, you are not meditating, you do not believe in God. No, no, no. Those are all good things to do, but that's not the real problem. The real problem is you do not know.
There you go.
Knowledge and lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge, ignorance. In Advaita Vedanta, it's not just lack of knowledge, it's also a positive force. Ignorance is a force which occludes the reality. There is a reality here. And we say, this Brahman you are talking about, you're saying that it is here, but I don't experience it. I don't know. I don't feel it. Advaitin will say this right now, there itself. You said, I don't know. That is ignorance. That ignorance is called avidya or ajnana in Advaita Vedanta. And this ajnana in its ultimate nature is called maya. This Brahman, because of maya, maya has two powers. It hides the reality from us, and it projects the reality as this world.
But why? That is the I wonder if anyone's asked that. It's like, why does Maya obscure this? Let me go back a little bit more.
Yeah, this Brahman, because of maya, maya has two powers. It hides the reality from us, and it projects the reality as this world.
So why? What created Maya? And why does it obscure the real world from us? I wonder if Phil's explain. Let's, I guess, continue on.
Like, we do not know it's a rope. The rope nature is hidden from us. And not only hidden, it is now projected as a snake. So that's the very nature of error. Advaita Vedanta says we are making a huge, huge mistake. And that mistake has to be corrected. Mistake is made of ignorance, and it has to be corrected by knowledge. It's all very nice to say. Can you demonstrate it? See, the Dvaita Vedanta has no problem about demonstration, because Dvaita Vedanta will, from the very beginning, will say you have to have faith. And remember, Madhvacharya said, Bhakti tato jnanam. First, you have devotion, faith. Then only that knowledge will work. But in Advaita Vedanta, you're told not faith and not faith. It's rather knowledge. So tell me what knowledge? How can I in Advaita Vedanta, the teacher can say, wait, have faith, worship God, have faith in God. One day you will go to Vaikuntha and you will see for yourself. And if you don't see after death, then you can't catch him, because by that time the teacher is also gone. So in Advaita Vedanta, however, the problem is, if you are claiming here and now and right now, you are Brahman, and you don't at all feel that, then you can demand proof. You can legitimately ask, show me. If it is here, if it is now, if I am Brahman, can you show me that? And Advaita makes this radical claim that yes, we can show you now that you are Brahman. And the moment you realize that, you are actually free of all suffering, and be released from the cycle of birth and death and so on. Remember, in Advaita Vedanta,
realize that you are actually free of all suffering,
released from the cycle of birth
and released from the cycle of birth and death. That is, again, with understanding of Brahman being everything. How do you choose to be released when you technically have, in a sense, no choice? well, you are the ultimate reality. You will always be in the ultimate reality. There is no separation. But maybe he's talking about something else, which I've not really. I watched a few videos on, and one video again, I don't remember necessarily specifics, but I remember ideas, which was the bucket. How samskara, I believe it is. Basically, it's this. It makes it seem like duality, though, and that's the problem. I'm having an issue with. This is supposed to be a non-duality world where everything is Brahman, everything is you. And if everything is you, then there's nothing that separates you from everyone else. But if there's this samskara, I believe it's samskara, I'm not sure. But if you remember the video, there's this bucket of water that is basically, in a sense, kind of like your karma. And it gets transferred from one body to the next. And also this goes back to Sadhguru, where he remembers his previous 4 reincarnations, I believe. If he if he remembers, if he remembers his previous 4 incarnations, then there's something that's keeping these things separate from everyone else. Now I don't know if Sadhguru believes in Brahman or anything. I don't remember if he says anything about that. I don't think he ever has. And that's the one thing about I'm starting to realize as I listen, they all talk about certain things generally, at least in terms of meditation, yoga, but I don't think Sadhguru ever talked about Brahman or Maya, especially not Maya, but I don't remember if he's talked about Brahman. I don't think he has, at least none of the videos that I've watched. But anyways, if there's this bucket of water that separates this, whatever this is, and that this specific thing transfers to a new bucket, then there's this separation. This separate thing is not maybe part of everything else, but somehow it is still separate. And that becomes confusing because then I don't know. I need a better explanation on how is this thing separate, even though everything's Brahman. And with Sadhguru being reborn, how he can remember his past, it can kind of make sense if everyone's the same. You could maybe remember someone else's past, but again, that doesn't make sense in a non-dual world where everything's Brahman. But if there's a duality, then there's this separation between each of us. Our experiences are separated because I am me, you are you. But in Brahman, we are all the same, so there's no separation. The separation is Maya, it's an illusion. So whenever I think that whenever I think I'm different from you, that's false. I am you, you are me. Our memories are the same. Our emotions, our karma, our experiences are all the same. It's just the Maya is preventing me from seeing that within you, because I think that I am me and that you are you.
And so on. Remember, in Advaita Vedanta, the cycle of birth and death, this Jiva nature, this world, even God nature, the nature of Ishvara, these are all appearances. Ultimately, only one Brahman is true. So what Advaita Vedanta does is investigation. It is not just faith. It is not just meditation, not just rituals. Those things are approved of in Advaita Vedanta, but that's not the point. They are all helpful. What has to be done? Vichara. In one word, the method of Dvaita Vedanta is bhakti, devotion, faith. In Advaita Vedanta, it is investigation. A philosophical investigation into our nature. How? There are very clear procedures for it. For example, Drigdrishya Viveka, Panchakosha Viveka, Avasthatraya Viveka. Notice that whatever you experience is different from you. The eyes are seeing the computer. Computer is clearly different from the eyes. Eyes are the seer, computer is the seen. Now notice, the eyes themselves are seen. Eyes are experienced. Your mind is the experiencer. My eyes are open, my eyes are closed. I can see well, I can't see well. The eyes, the auditory system, the entire sensory system, the whole body is experienced. It's an object, drishya. You are the drashta, the mind. The drashta and drishya are separate. The mind itself is observed. When you are happy, do you not feel happy? Do you not know that you are happy? Of course. Who else will know that you are happy? When you feel pain, when you feel joy, when you feel desire, when you feel tiredness, sickness, all those thoughts in the mind, the movements of the mind are experienced by you. Therefore, you, the experiencer, drashta of the mind, must be different from the mind. This drashta of the mind is never experienced as an object. It is ever the sakshi, ever the witness. That pure subject witness consciousness is the reality.
And here's the only thing that I like out of everything. This is the only thing where I just I guess I won't say an issue with, but I guess you could kind of say like an issue with. I guess there's a phrase that someone said that I actually kind of like, and it's also there's another phrase, but here's the first phrase. It's called KISS. It's an acronym for Keep It Simple, Stupid. And so that basically means like if there's a problem, you try to find what the problem is by doing a whole bunch of complicated stuff. But then you come to the realization, it's like, no, dude, you just have to do this. Keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate things. Because you make things either so difficult to solve or so complicated, unnecessarily complicated. So by keeping things simple, generally that's the answer. And also there's the other phrase of, what is it? The simplest answer is usually, I can't quite remember the quote, but basically it says like, generally speaking, the simplest answer is usually the answer. Something along those lines. I know I didn't say it right, but I think I got the idea. Again, I remember more ideas, generally speaking, than precise quotes. But the idea is basically is that you whenever there's a how this pen got here, I could say that an alien from millions of light years away flew over here, lifted the roof of my house, dropped the pen in my desk, and reformulated the molecular things in my roof to make it look like it was never removed and flew away. Or I could have bought it at Walmart and then just put it on my desk. The simpler answer is generally going to be the truer answer. Basically me just buying it at Walmart. Then an alien species coming from 10 billion light years away and removing the roof of my house and putting it down here and then doing some kind of weird voodoo magic with my roof so that it doesn't look like it's ever been removed. So that's the general idea basically. And my thoughts is with the mind is the fact that I think, this is my belief, there is a particular part in your mind that is actually where thoughts go in and get answered, where the I is. It's not, and because of those two beliefs that I have, KISS and I forget what the other one was, I can't remember what it's called, is that maybe there is a section in your mind that thoughts go in, gets answered, and comes out. Everything that you experience, that you say that I is in that mind, instead of it being a bit more complicated by saying that you are separate from the mind. The turiya itself is separate from the mind. For me, maybe the turiya itself is in the mind. It's just a certain part of the mind that we cannot experience. Because I think I do believe in him that we cannot experience who we are. So if we can experience it, that's not who we are, kind of like our hands, our thoughts, our emotions. But there might be a part in our brain, should I say, our brain, that is us, that is not separate from us, that when we think about things, when we say I, or when we say I, it's there, not separate. That's just my thoughts on that.
Which appears this entire universe, this body, mind. Then they go further. What is the relationship between the pure consciousness of the Sakshi and what it experiences? Because if you stop at this point, it's not Advaita. It's still multiplicity. Consciousness and all its objects. Still multiplicity. This is Sankhya. Advaita Vedanta goes further. You, the consciousness, and the entire universe which appears to you, this objective universe, what is the relation? Are they different or are they one and the same? They appear to be different to you, different from you. But notice, they all appear in you, in your consciousness. Just like they use the dream example. in the dream. You are there in your own dream.
I will say, if you ever talk to anyone, I think the dream example is absolutely perfect because I have thought about that and it is quite amazing. But I'll let him finish and I will maybe say something about it.
And you experience people and events. There is a space and a time and a certain activity is going on. And yet, when you wake up, you realize both the subject and the objects in the dream were nothing but you, the dreamer. The enormous variety experienced in the dream, with all its dynamism, everything was nothing but the dreaming mind. Similarly, in one consciousness, because of Maya, appears this diversity of the universe.
Okay, didn't know if it's going to go further into that. So the dream is a perfect example, and I thought about this, and someone asked, someone said in the comments, "Are you maybe you're starting? I'm starting to confuse Brahman with an actual like living being." It could kind of make sense if, in fact, say Brahman is a god, and I mean, hear me out here. So, and Brahman is dreaming, and we are all in that dream. Kind of like if I were to go to sleep, and this is what I thought about. If I were to go to sleep and I have a dream and I remember it, the weirdest thing about the dream is the sheer fact that I only know about myself. I don't know about anyone else or anything else in that dream, at least for me. Let me know if you are able to experience the walls in your dream. Like, without you touching it, can you know what the walls are thinking or doing? Or could you know what the people that are near you are thinking or doing? Because I was trying to remember in all my dreams, I don't think maybe at one dream I kind of almost did, but no. But all the other dreams, I don't know what the person next to me is feeling or thinking. I don't know what they're going to say. I don't know what they're going to do. For the most part, there's been a few times in the dreams where maybe I could almost, but mostly no. I have no control over them. I have only control. I even actually in the dream, I sometimes don't have necessarily control over my body sometimes. Very few times. But that's a great example to think that maybe what if we are we are the dream state of Brahman. If it was in fact a god, a deity, and we're just, and this would make complete sense to me because in a sense but it'd be like the dream where I am only ever aware of myself and not everyone else even in my dream. I don't know who's coming in, how they're going to act. I don't know how the walls and everything was created. It's just, it felt like the real world. So again, if Brahman was dreaming and we are part of the dream, we are technically all Brahman at that point. It's all a manifestation of Brahman's dream. And maybe much like in the dream that I have, where maybe this individual people in the dream that I have maybe have their own thoughts, because they seem to have their own actions. They react like real people. And maybe because we live in this dream, and it would make sense that if we are in fact Brahman's dream, this is in fact a pen in the dream, much like in my dream with the bicycle or the walls. I mean, it's all part of me, but I didn't know it was something that's separate. I mean, I didn't know it was me, but it looked separate from me, like in my dream. So if this was in fact Brahman's dream, then a lot of things would make sense, because we're all in his dream, we're all in its mind, we are all Brahman at that point.
And you are that consciousness. You must realize it directly by this method of inquiry.
Sorry. And that would make sense of non-duality, because if Brahman is the only thing ever there and we are in its dream, then we are not separate from Brahman. We're all the same. That would make absolute sense. We are all the same. Now I guess someone needs to translate that into how to can kind of almost translate that into something I would understand. But basically, how to translate Brahma's dream into what Swami is trying to talk about, how everything is Brahman. But Brahman, I think in the sense, is not a being that can dream. At least I don't think. Because it's kind of weird how to say Brahman is not a being, but yet there's Maya to put this false facade for it. It makes it seem like Brahman is alive. People, I mean, I've heard people say, and include Swamiji, I believe that Brahman is pure consciousness. So if it's consciousness, is it alive? Is it a being? I don't know yet. I've not necessarily heard anyone say that it is, in fact, alive, or is a being, or what. That's the reason why I guess I'm kind of confused in that. It's because I don't know how to interpret Brahman just yet. Pure consciousness. Okay, what does that mean? Is it alive? What is pure consciousness? I don't know.
Another method is Panchakosha, the physical body, the vital body, the mental body, the intellectual body, the causal body. All of these are available to us right now. But what experiences and witnesses all of them? That witness consciousness. Or another method in the Mandukya, waking, dreaming, deep sleep. Our entire world of waking, our entire dream world, and the blankness of nothingness of deep sleep. All of them come and go. You own up. You say that I was awake, I dreamt, I was in deep sleep, I do not know anything. Who is the one? What is the one to which all of these appear and disappear? You are that. Even if your precious Vishnu appears to you, remember, it will appear to you, the consciousness. Ultimately, everything has to appear. Even if you feel, I have attained mukti, I have gone to Vaikuntha, what does it depend on? It depends on you, the consciousness. If you do not testify to mukti, where is mukti? If you do not testify to Vaikuntha or Vishnu, where is Vaikuntha or Vishnu? So what is that consciousness which experiences bondage, which experiences liberation? That consciousness you are, Tattvamasi. That is the reality of the universe. Everything else depends on that. You are Brahman and Brahman is you. When you say you are Brahman, it means you are not the body, not the mind.
But if everything is Brahman, technically you are the body. I'm being nitpicky there. But I wonder what he would say to that, honestly. Like, I would ask him, so, this is what I would ask him. So this would be one question I would write down, and I wonder if he has any, I will not hook, I would ask him this. Are you the body? I would ask him that first. He said, you are not the body. I was like, okay. Are you Brahman? He said, yes, you are Brahman. I was like, okay. Is Brahman everything? And is Brahman everything as in the one reality, everything? And I said, yes, he just explained that. Is your body Brahman? And then, I don't know what he would say to that. Based on logical deduction that I've done, I would say yes, he would say yes, you are, Brahman is the body. Then I would ask, then are you the body? I'd go back in a complete circle, saying that, then are you the body? If he says no, then there's a breakage there for me. But if he says yes, then it makes sense, because everything makes logical sense. I am Brahman. Brahman is everything. I am the body's Brahman. How do I make that circle? The body is me. I am Brahman. Brahman is everything. Everything's the body. Well, not everything's the body, but the body's part of everything. I just, again, that's another question that just came up. I just thought about in this video, that I'm wondering if it's maybe further down the teaching that it'll say, okay, the separation that you're not the body was just a way to get you introduced into this, and then later on say, but because everything's Brahman, you are in fact the body. You're in fact everything. You're the rock. You're the rock of my soul or something. I don't know.
You are Brahman. When you say Brahman is you, that means Brahman is actually other than you, the real you. There is no Vishnu, Shiva, Durga, whatever. This is very radical, shocking. One of the senior monks said, he had gone to a very senior monk at that time, Premeshanandaji Maharaj, who was Ma Sharada's disciple. So this senior monk told me, he was a young college student. He said, one day, Swami Premeshanandaji suddenly touched me like this. And I jerked back in surprise. He touched me like this. I jerked back in surprise. And then this old Swami said to him in Bengali, I will translate. He said, Oi, 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 oi je chomke utlo, o chhada kono shala bhagavan nei. What does it mean? There, that one, which was startled. Other than that, I will not translate the shala. There is no Bhagavan. This means you are none other than Brahman. Brahman is also none other than you. So it's a very radical identity. But of course, it does not mean this individual being. Often Dvaitavadins, the followers of Madhvacharya and other Dvaitavadins, they become very agitated. You see, you are God. What a ridiculous suggestion. But not you in the physical sense. Not you as this limited creature, but the real you, which is the unlimited consciousness. How is this to be realized? Through Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. First, hear these truths. That means study the Upanishads, study the Vedantic texts systematically. And then, after having known the teachings, you'll have many questions. Remember, this is a path of understanding, not a path of belief. At no point are you asked to say you have to believe this. It will not work this way. In Advaita Vedanta, one must understand. Somebody asked, but is understanding enough? Isn't there a difference between understanding, intellectual understanding and realization? Yes, but that intellectual understanding alone deepens into realization. You cannot say, I will realize I am Brahmasmi, but I do not want to study Vedanta. It will not work. That information, that pointing out is done by the study of Vedanta. Then you have many questions. That I do not understand this. I have heard you, but I do not understand. We will have a Q&A session now. So that is like Mananam, the second stage. Shravadam, literally hearing. Mananam is discussion. That Mananam should generate understanding. How do you know when Mananam is complete? When one can honestly claim that I know the teaching and now I'm convinced. I have clarity.
So two things there. I love the fact that it says, no, you don't just believe. You have to learn these things. Second thing, I mean, obviously, you definitely want to obtain the knowledge. You don't just believe. That's something I love, again. Absolutely. I encourage people to do research. Do not ever just get it from one source. Do not ever just believe in anyone. Take what they say in consideration, but don't ever absolutely believe it. Two things. The second thing, should I say, is Sadhguru didn't read any of this stuff. And I've heard people considered him to be enlightened. I don't know if he considered himself to be enlightened. I'm not sure. I don't think I've heard him say that he considered himself that. But nonetheless, it's kind of weird that now here he's saying that in order for you to know, you must read. So you have to read to know. I think that's what he said. So basically, there's no way for you to know without reading. I think. I'm going to rewind that a little bit.
Literally hearing. Mananam is discussion. That Mananam should generate understanding. How do you know when Mananam is complete? When one can honestly claim that I know the teaching and now I'm convinced. I have clarity. I can answer your questions. So when that kind of confidence comes, one has understood. Then what is the problem? The problem is...
Okay, so I didn't rewind it far enough, but we'll continue on.
That one may still feel, I have understood something. It's a pretty clever and nice philosophy. But you promised, I will get mukti, all my sufferings will be at an end, I will get permanent joy and peace. Those things are not happening. Not as advertised. I still feel I'm just the same person, I just know a new philosophy now. So what has been understood should be deepened into a living reality, living realization. Swami Vivekananda called it assimilation. So you have to stay with that understanding until it flashes. This is called a stage of Nididhyasanam or Vedantic meditation. In Aparoksha Anubhuti, in the text, Shankaracharya gives 15 methods of Nididhyasana. In Drigdrishya Viveka, Vidyaranya Muni gives 6 methods of Nididhyasana. So they are all immersing yourself in what you are clear about now. till it becomes a living reality. When do you know that Nididhyasana is over? When you can honestly claim or honestly say to yourself, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. You can sing along with Shankaracharya, not just singing. It's a true statement. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham. When you can honestly say, sorrow has been overcome. I have found, in the words of the Gita, I have found that being established in which the deepest sorrows cannot shake me. I have found that after gaining which there is nothing higher to be gained. Na dukkhena gurunapi vichalyate. Krishna says to Arjuna, heaviest of sorrows cannot sweep you away. Yang labdva na chaparam labham manyate tato adhikam. Having attained which, no higher gain is seen anymore. You have attained the purpose of human life. That feeling should come. Notice, in the Dvaita system, you cannot claim perfection and full attainment in this life. You have to wait. You have to be a good devotee. You have to wait for the grace of Vishnu. And after death, you go to Vaikuntha.
Well, my Dvaita is duality, but there's no afterlife. That's sad. I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I guess the famous saying I haven't said in a long time is, "This is our paradise. Right here, right now is our paradise. There is no afterlife. So do the best you can with what you got." But yeah. So I wonder if there is I guess a philosophy or Vedanta that says that there's still a duality in the world, that I am me, you are you, but there's no God there. I have not heard any. I don't remember if he explained that, but he didn't really touch up too many on those other things.
But here, Advaita Vedanta says, Ihaiva, here itself. If you are ready, it should come instantaneously, now itself. You should become Jivan Mukta. So the concept of Jivan Mukta, or in Gita terms, Sthita Pragya, while living in this body, why can you not realize? Because if this world is an appearance, you just have to realize it's like a movie. You don't have to shut it down. You don't have to start a new movie. The same movie has to be realized as a movie. That's all. And you realize yourself as the truth, the screen on which the movie of life plays. You are the dreamer of the dream of samsara. You are the rope which was appearing like the snake till now. So you are the reality of this universe. Tat Satyam Sa Atma Tattvamasi. Shvetaketu's father in Chandogya Upanishad, 9 times he said, what I am talking about? Shvetaketu might have thought, yeah, so what is all this to me? Modern American student. But direct answer, that thou art. What I'm talking about till now, I'm talking about you. This is your reality. Now, nobody can deny that I'm interested in myself. It's about me. So this is very radical. This is very different from all the other philosophies. Today, I just end with this statement. Here in NYU, in the Department of Consciousness Studies, Mind, Brain and Consciousness Studies, David Chalmers speaking about panpsychism. There was a conference on a colloquium on Advaita Vedanta, the hard problem of consciousness. See, in modern consciousness studies, people are interested in the Vedantic, this Advaitic insight into consciousness. Swami Vivekananda, he taught this here, and says, one reason I'm teaching this here, he says, first of all, it gives fearlessness. This Advaitic approach gives fearlessness, immediate fearlessness to them. You are Brahman, what are you to be afraid of? But it also is he says, is the only rational approach to religion which is acceptable to modern mind. Remember, more than 100 years ago, he was invited by William James to Harvard University to give a talk on what is Vedanta. He became friends with Nikola Tesla, who used to come and listen to his talks at the World Parliament of Religions. And later he used to come to Vedanta Society to listen to the talks. Number of other luminaries. So they became attracted more than 100 years ago, because this is an appeal to the rational faculties of human beings. More discussion about this. I'm sure there'll be questions. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's open it up for questions.
Okay, perfect time to pause it. So I already opened up my questions. Let me know what you think about my stuff. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it makes nonsense, or does it make sense, or does it make you think? I just hope people think. That's honestly it. You know, think about it, rationalize it, or whatever, and let me know. Alright, that's my part 2 reaction to Advaita and the The Advaita of Vedanta. I don't think I'm saying that right. I am butchering it, I'm sure. So anyways, if you like my content, please consider subscribing. Thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.